Hello there and welcome back to the vlog. If you've been watching any of my teaching tip videos or vlogs, if you've been around for a while, you might notice a common theme. And that theme is that I tend to focus more on things from the teacher's point of view and the teacher's experience. A lot of online resources and other things, professional developments, pretty much everything that you're going to hear for your teaching career is going to be about the students, which is great because that's why we're teachers, is to teach, and students are our number one priority. But I wanted it to be, when I started YouTube, I sought out, I wanted to be the voice for the teachers. I wanted to be somebody that's looking out for you and to teach you and to talk to you about looking out for yourself, because you got to take care of yourself first if you want to make sure you're the best teacher that you can be. And today I wanted to talk about something that's really close to my heart, and it's something that I feel like I've got a good amount of experience with, and I've been through it. I wanted to share with you my experience, and that is teacher burnout. I've done a multitude of videos on burnout, what to do, but this video is going to focus on the signs of burnout. So how do you know when you're starting to get burnout? Warning signs, if you will, because the school year is coming up. It's approaching quite quickly, and I want you to know that everybody experiences a little bit of burnout, all on a different level. No matter if you're a brand new teacher or a veteran teacher or it doesn't matter. Everybody's gonna get a little bit of burnout, so I wanna talk to you about what to look for. So here we go. First thing is the time of the year. So the beginning of the year is what I like to call the honeymoon phase of the school year. Everybody's excited about school. New classroom, you just spent a whole bunch of time setting up. It's exciting. It's an exciting time for the students and the teachers. And your students are probably going to be pretty well behaved at the beginning of the year. And you're still excited. You've got a lot of energy. You've had all summer to rest. Hopefully you spent some summertime to rest. But anyway, you're ready to go, right? And I would consider the honeymoon period, usually for me, is usually the month of August and September and October. Usually by the beginning of November, I'm starting to feel a little bit of wear and tear on the school year. Lucky for us in the United States, we have Thanksgiving break in November to kind of ease some of that anxiety. But November seems to be about the time for me where the grind really starts to get real. And your students, you really find out a lot about your students. Everybody kind of settles into their role in the classroom. You probably know who your high flyers are going to be. And when I talk about high flyers, I mean your students that take more time and energy, who require a little bit more direction or discipline. But anyway, this is the time of the year where it's like, oh, okay, it's real now, right? And you've been grinding every day. You've been getting up early, staying late at school, staying up late, grading papers, what have you. But some of the warning signs, there's a difference between being burnout and just being tired. I like being tired at the end of the day. I like laying my head down on the pillow at the end of the day and going, man, that was a good day. I'm tired from a long day of hard work. I love that feeling. That's tired. But burnout is when you get to the point where you're just not excited anymore about teaching. You kind of, I don't want to use the word you're dreading going into work, school, but that's really when it becomes the burnout period, is when you are, so the first warning sign is you can't think of anything that you're excited about for the school day. If you can't come up with something that you're excited about, if you can't go, oh, I can't wait to teach this, or oh, I'm really excited to introduce this new thing, or I can't wait to do that. If you can't think of one thing that you're excited about for the school day, that's the first warning sign, because then that passion and excitement is starting to fade just a bit. So that's your first warning sign. So if you notice that, that's a good way to remedy that. A good way to kind of keep yourself in check with that is every night before bed, ask yourself that question. What am I excited about tomorrow? And if 3 days out of 5 you can't come up with an answer, it's probably that you're starting to get burnt out. Another warning sign of being burnt out is your attitude. Are normal things that are going on that kids of your age doing, are they agitating you? Are they irritating you? Are you snapping? Are you being short with students? For example, in kindergarten, normal behaviors are tattling, cutting in line, getting upset if you don't get a turn. Little things that at the beginning of the year, or if I'm not being burnt out, don't bother me. Like, don't actually, I mean, yeah, I don't like it, but these things don't upset me to the point that it affects my mood because I expect it to happen. It's what kindergartners do. But burnt out Kyle gets upset about that and maybe lets that affect my mood and I'm not as positive during the day. So that's warning sign number 2, is that you're just not as positive and your attitude starts to shake a little bit, and normal little things that wouldn't bother you are starting to bother you. And warning sign number 3. This one can be the most damaging. It's that you start to let things pile up on you. Third warning sign to getting burnout is that you just flat out stop doing stuff with like little things. Like you have emails to get caught up on, you got a little bit of paperwork to do, and you just let it pile on, and pile on. You haven't checked your work, you haven't checked your mailbox in a week. And that's not good, because then you're going to get behind, and that not only affects you, but it affects everybody else. So it's easy to get to that stage if you let yourself. And you know, it's really quick to get to that stage because it's like a snowball effect. The one day, you know, you have a couple things to do after school, but you're like, you know what? I'll just take care of it tomorrow. I'm trying to get out of here, right? And do that 3-4 nights in a row, and then you have a ton of work to get caught up on, and that's not good for you or anybody else. Because when you feel like you're drowning under all the work you have to do, you can't be your best, most effective teacher if you are not caught up on all that stuff as well, because then your mind's gonna be all over the place and not focus on teaching. So a quick way to avoid this is, even if you are starting to feel tired, like I just want to get out of here, my rule of thumb for myself that I use is if something can be done in 5 minutes or less, I do it right now if it's possible. If it's during my lunch or my prep or recess or whatever, or before or after school, if it's something that can be handled in 5 minutes and I have 5 minutes, I'm gonna do it right now and then just forget about it. Because if you start letting those little tiny things pile up, you're gonna feel like you have no way out. You're gonna feel overwhelmed. You know, teacher burnout feels a little bit like depression. If you have ever been depressed before, it feels a little bit like depression. So if you start to feel that depressed feeling, if you start to feel, you know, you start not dressing up as nice, maybe maybe you dress down a few days in a row, you're not feeling it, you don't come in as early, you kind of get out of there right away, and you're not really as motivated, you're not as excited. These are all things that let you know that you're experiencing burnout. Okay, Mr. Thain, so you told us about what to look for, so now what do I do? What do I do if I get burnout? So here is the thing. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to be the voice for you, be the voice for the teachers, to worry about and think about yourself first, because, like I said, if you aren't ready yourself, if you're not right yourself, you can't help other people. It's like the analogy, right? If the plane or something's going wrong with the airplane and you have to put those oxygen masks on, they always tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first before you help your kids, because you can't help nobody if you passed out. One thing that you do have that many teachers forget to use is you have personal days, you have sick days, and sometimes it's appropriate to take a personal day just for yourself, a mental health day, if you will. Take a Friday, take a Monday, take a Wednesday, whatever you have to do, and recuperate. Obviously, you can't do this all the time, but I had to, full disclosure, I had to take one of these last year. I had a very difficult week. I had a lot of very challenging behaviors that week. I was drowning under paperwork. This came at the pinnacle of my worst couple-week stretch of the school year last year, and I took a mental health break on a Friday. I said, you know what? I'm going to stay home tomorrow, and I'm going to recuperate. I'm going to collect my thoughts. I'm going to refresh. I had the Friday, and then the Saturday and the Sunday, and I came back recharged and ready to go on Monday. So think about yourself. Take mental health days if you must. If you're out, option 2, if you're out of mental health days, if there's nowhere else to turn, if you cannot take a mental health day, then my suggestion to you is this. Begin adopting the habit of getting all the stuff done at school and then coming home, and when you get home, there's no school. You're not a teacher anymore. Some people cannot separate work and life. And teaching is one of those jobs where our work life and our home life blend, because as a teacher, when you decide to go into this profession, it becomes part of you. It becomes part of who you are, your personality, your persona, and it can be very difficult to separate the two. Get in the habit of trying to separate those two, so that when you're home, when I'm home, I'm Kyle. When I'm at school, I'm Mr. Thain. In that way, you're not worried about school, so you don't have to say no if a friend invites you out to eat or go to the movies or something like that. You say, yes, I don't have anything else to worry about tonight. I'm just relaxing. I'm just hanging out with friends. So that's how I deal with burnout personally. And I just wanted to give you this information before the school year starts so you can have this video in your tool belt, put it in your back pocket, watch it, save it for later, and come back to it if you start to feel burnout. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I really hope that you don't feel burnout this year, but if you do, these are the warning signs and what to do about them. So, thank you for watching. Find a gift, share it with the world, and remember, you are worth it. See you tomorrow.